Namaskaram from Rotarian Vasanthi Ranganathan, Lake View Learning and Development Center, Chennai, India. Peace to me is a smile in the face, a song in the heart, leading to productivity, prosperity. Positive peace journey for me began at school, class 7, reading Oliver Twist, Color Purple, disparities in wealth, color, education, power, physical and political caused war, death, disrupting peace. Madame Defarge, in A Tale of Two Cities, and how cruel one can become if robbed of basic needs, hit my heart. Adolf Hitler, and how a history teacher can mold a personality, was very important thought in my head. My first job as a fresher, the only woman faculty amidst all men in a college where students believed that a degree will get them a job. From the rural areas knew no English, and the first generation woman entering a professional space. Oh my God. No guidance, a lot of discouragement from family, friends, who could not think of change. These laid a foundation of a career focused on equity, inclusion, and understanding diversity. Even today, my son does not think I'm good enough, or he feels that I'm not of much use, not because he does not love me, but because he thinks I'm not a good enough professional, and he is a great professional. I'm facing difficulties even today due to money disparities, age, old age as they think of me, which is a negative factor in India, gender and position. Learners in schools, colleges, community, starting from age 3, learning focused on self-esteem, strengthening the ability to fail, exploring career options, gaining skills becomes my focus area for positive peace. All these are most essential for socially and economically disadvantaged and advantaged youth populations across geographical borders. IEP and Rotary gave access for formal training in positive peace, continuous updates through various meetings in virtual platforms, validating models in various regions with many peace practitioners actually helped. This connect, enabled by IEP and RI combined, made this dream a possibility. Meaningful, formal, non-formal education to become world-class citizens for peaceful coexistence and rewarding careers will soon become a reality. What kind of education will lead to skills, attitude, work, meaningful engagement? Who should be involved are suggested in the 8 positive pillars. Well-functioning government. Educated Indians stayed away from politics. It was felt that one needs muscle and money power, a family history to engage in politics. Recently, political science, economics, social sciences, international relations, history, art, digital presence, first-time entrance into political space are gaining importance. We have begun, but we have a long way to go. Educated holding university degrees from India and abroad are contesting elections. However, in constituencies reserved for women, husbands take over, including in my own village, Chembarambaka. Our Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is an exception. She contested, won, and is representing her constituency. To me, a well-functioning government depends on stakeholder involvement. We must engage in sports. Sports engagement is visible, audience watch. It is transparent, it has to be played by the rules. Sportsmen learn to fail and know that not all can go to the top in the selection process. There is not much space at the top. Individual strengths are leveraged. Group dynamics, complementary roles are surely necessary. When skills are lost, sportsmen gracefully step down into other roles. Local leaders, not much formal education, substituting their wives in the community, should organize sports, compete with teams, and learn fair play. Can they take school students and kids in the community who are dropouts to take a tour of the government offices, polling stations, village gatherings for grievance? These, I believe, will increase of how a system works and may lead to possibilities of the young to take ownership of the well-being of the land they live in. Sound business environment is critical for money generation. A developing economy needs a sound business environment, a developed economy and underdeveloped as well. In my experience as a leading management consultant over 35 years now, having worked in small and big industries, focusing on manpower and productivity is an absolute requirement. I have seen businesses fail due to lack of succession planning, delegation, management, non-management disagreements, lack of recognition for good performance, appreciation, quality orientation. When we recruited employees at the managerial and non-managerial levels for UCAL Fuel Pondi, India, the first few days everyone had to clean toilets, shop floors, wipe and clean the machines. These experiences gave everyone an opportunity to work and learn from each other. I'm convinced that learning from peers is the most ideal form of learning. Ethical trade practices is the founding principle of the Rotary movement and IEP activators. So peace models and fellowships would be good to reach out to industrial relations personnel as well. A sound business environment will surely contribute to meaningfully to the GDP, equitable distribution of resources, a scarce find. I serve as an international facilitator for DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, in sessions organized by Rotarian PDG Dr. Vicky Radale world over. Our team is trained by Vicky, having taken lessons from the Learning Center, works together talking about bystander support, codependency, and many simple things that can really help us practice DEI. This binding of facilitators reinforces the fundamental belief that worldwide peace is desired. I experimented and very successfully ran 10 sessions on virtual platforms incorporating readings from Indian philosophers on peace such as Vivekananda, J. Krishnamurti, Chinmayananda, Gandhiji, Kanchi Periyava, Brahma Kumaris, who are also present worldwide. I believe that learning templates, metrics, and outcomes will be the same, but content, context must be local stories, cultural ways of restoring peace in conflict between siblings, husband and wife, neighbors, road rage, among others. With IEP, working towards positive peace across the world in many ways, it is my fond hope that I should be able to reach many across the world with learning partnership with activators from various programs. contextualizing, using cultural models are what I learned from my 4 years at the East-West Center, Hawaii, Honolulu, 87 to 91. Using experts, interactive facilitative methods enables ownership, keeps costs down, and helps learners to translate learning that is appropriate to their own geographies and culture. Acceptance of the rights of others. Today, with AI, internet, tech-savvy populations catching up, media highlights, religion, terrorism, vandalism, movies making villains heroes, cybercrime is on the increase. Social skills on the decrease. I agree, gender sensitization is happening, but we need more work. Recently, I came across cases where 18-year-old girls fall in love, run away with someone, often could be a married man, live-in relationships are permissible, and there are no legal cases filed because they are adults and have gone away on their own account. These girls are used in sex trade, slaves, rapes, sold for their organs. Education on what and how to keep oneself safe, financially, physically, and psychologically become critical to help people think that we walk on the same road of life. I quote from Sumati Satakam in Telugu. Tappinchaga, noppinchaga. That means do not hurt others and you don't get hurt. The language of my neighboring state, Andhra Pradesh. All of us have a right to live, and my nose ends where your nose begins. It's important we don't tread on each other just because we are happy exercising my right to live and to be. Good relations with neighbors, most important. Neighbors are immediate source for all sharing of joyous times and for all help, be it floods, earthquake, or heart attack. Only if our relationships are good, you can access people. Today, sadly, with the digital economy, AI has limited social interaction. Some economic power has given some independence. Never can an individual be totally cut off from people. Even a brief conversation, hi, hello, I just called to say how much I love you, can make things far, far better. Can we think of community programs across every culture? Maybe potluck in the US, Kutanjore, as we call it in Tirunelveli. Many of our festivities in the South are celebrated worshipping sun god, trees, and we are environment eco-friendly people. Community celebrations promote relationship with neighbors, and one day, I believe, I can cross over to Sri Lanka, China, Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, who are all just across the border. These positive pillars hopefully will make it a reality. Free flow of information is critically important. The number of applications for the peace program is very low. If you ask, you get help. If you listen, you get options. If you read, you get information. Sometimes I do feel there is an overload of unwanted communication. On 12th of January 24, I made a presentation on the beloved community based on Martin Luther King. In the book, Racial Justice and Non-Violent Communication by Peace Fellow Arthur Romano. We were all able to gather similarities in our thinking across the world on this virtual platform as we continued our discussions. Reading clubs, sharing readings, perceptions, agreeing to disagree, respecting one's values can be developed in line with this positive pillar. So focused thinking on one idea will gather consensus on a number of strategies. With digitalization, we can gather as a group and exchange our stories, find common ground, and agree to disagree with varied perceptions. To me, human capital is supported by the pillar of positive peace. I was fascinated listening to many peace activators while at Nepal for the Rotary Leadership Summit. High levels of human capital make an impact while I was taking the IEP RI courses as a Rotary Peace Activator and continued to complete the Ambassador Program. On 16th January 24, I was invited to address principals of 150 schools by the Government of India Youth Affairs at IIT Madras Research Park. This was on introducing entrepreneurial education in schools. I had a captive audience of educational administrators running many schools. One of them actually ran 325 schools. Imagine if one person were to start working on the concepts shared, then we would have made a difference in millions of students over the next several years. Participants found the highly innovative model I proposed very meaningful, practical, and easy to use. I am looking forward to more engagement on entrepreneurial education at the learning level at the school. Now I'm trying to suggest to my friends that we should have peace academies where from age 4 or 5, young children can share, care, appreciate diversity, preferably peace academies outside schools in the community space with local leaders, elders, corporates, managing it as an educational enterprise preparing citizens of the world. Let's remember, even during those days, Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage. And he never said Stratford or Avon is a stage. Tiruvalluvar from Mylapore, pretty close by to my place, favors for his couplets, Tirukkural, translated into so many languages, said Ulagu. He never said Mylapore. So we are citizens of the world. World should be our focus. We are connected by latitude, longitude, Rotary, IEP, human values. Values imbibed as peer education, vision enlarged in early childhood, student learning days. Then we achieve positive peace. My home club, RC Ambattur RID 3232, did a no-cost cataract camp in a Tamil medium government primary schools. Students aged 5 to 11 led the local elderly people by their hand and guided them. Some goodies were offered for volunteering. Now we have set up a process where the kids will come home and help not only their elders at home but also the community. This was followed by floods during which many homes went underwater. You must see how the kids worked with the elders to help out. So real life experiences shared at the grassroots levels are surely meaningful. Policies as a top-down approach are given along the same line, and someday the two will meet. To increase livelihood opportunity enables wealth at the individual, community and national level. Vocations result in meaningful engagement of time, increases self-esteem, spending power, ethical earning, which allows one to share. Rotary started focused on vocations. Let me share some work since 1976 helping build a connect between the individual and the world of work. What Next is a program I introduced for ages 5 to 35 for developing human capital. It's now a Rotary program for almost 20 years. I have worked with ANs and EDs, made them into trainers, and many have successfully established enterprises. Focusing on developing human capital means that we have to be futuristic and think of emerging skills, emerging platforms, emerging job opportunities, and help learners make meaningful decisions about which they are passionate. My experience of conflict is many. A love marriage in 1970 at 17 taught me caste-related conflict, and most importantly, adapting myself, which required a whole lot of changes in the way I lived. Emotion and logic are two different things, and we have to learn how best to mingle both. First lady professional in a college increased the conflict. First woman to go out of home abroad to study, leaving behind children. The only AG among all other AGs in a performing Rotary district. Being a pure vegetarian, living in places where non-veg food is the norm. All of these made conflict resolution daily tasks. So I'm learning. Now, I'm happy being an IEP ambassador and trying to introduce positive peace not only in my life but in all other lives, because I have been endorsing peace fellowships and engaging with applicants for almost 8 years now. I invited Rebecca Kroll, Area Focus Manager for Peace and Conflict Prevention, for a presentation on a virtual platform in December 21. These helped me understand that many resources and many peace practitioners of positive peace are available worldwide. So,